Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get the shot on. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching our show. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We're on Facebook Live here, as far as I know, but it doesn't show that we're on TV. So we're confused. If you're watching us on TV, thank you very much for that, but I had to put that out there. If you're just watching us on Facebook, we appreciate you every week. Thanks to all of you, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for all the likes on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook page. 6,924 likes. We appreciate that. I'm looking at myself on Facebook Live, and I'm holding it up there so we can see that. I got my Good Ravens shirt because Lamar Jackson is the best. Oh, did that slip out? Go Steelers. We'll talk about them later. All right, first up, we got A2 here, swagged up this week, all yellow. His yellow shoes are like on fire. Look what he did. We can't even tell because our TV monitor's not on. A2, is that TV screen on?
It is on.
Okay, because it's totally black in here. I can't see how it looks. Oh, on Facebook, it's turning out perfect.
Yeah.
Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center, 412-831-1900. Great Italian food. The XL Pizza and steak hoagie that he sponsors our show with is just great, and it was very tasty and delicious. Check him out. I talked to Frank, the owner, today. He's doing well, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, Al, can you see if high school girls from like 14 to 18 could work the phones at Olive Oil's Pizzeria 2-3 hours a night, maybe a couple times a week? So you have a job opportunity for all you young watchers." So check it out. He needs some help there just answering the phones because they were swamped with business tonight. So check it out. All right, A2, coming at you. All right, let's see what happened. Little delay. Here we go. Bang, he got it. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. 1905 schoolhouse, 107 windows, brand new roof, new cupola with the old Bethel Park original bell is back. And they have rentals there. They have a dance studio. They have an artist. They have the Bethel Park Community Foundation Auditorium on the top floor. A lot of great things they do there. Look for their events. I'm not sure if they have something for Halloween, but go to their website, Bethel Park Historical Society, and check it out. And if you can get there, Reginald's Coffee, they got coffee that's better than Starbucks, I've been told. They got fresh roasted worldwide coffee that's green. They roast it up there. And I've had 30, 40 friends at least tell me how good their coffee is. I was just there the other day when we did their open house. I had a cup of large leaf green tea, and it was very good. So it was nice to see Matt and Julie. Check them out. All right, we end each show with A2. Let's see what he can come up with. I'm looking. There's a little pause. Bang! He did it, folks. He did it. We end each show, Stay Joey Strong. That's in honor of Joey Fabus. They started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. He died of DIPG, a dreaded brain cancer. It's a death sentence for these kids. He was 8 years old, died before his 9th birthday 6 years ago. His family's raised over $100,000 to give to Dr. Gary, and they're trying to find a cure. And I've been telling you the last month that he has said there's going to be some type of help that's available for kids with this DIPG brain cancer. And just check them out. You can donate as little as $1. They have different events, and they do a lot of great things in the community, helping others that have this DIPG from around the area. So check them out. And we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Next up, we'll see what A2 does on this. There it is. Oh, we're still not on TV, but Facebook, look, there, it's perfect. Always Be Smiling is named after a poor young man, 16 and a half, after his second kidney transplant and other issues he had. His name was Bennett. His parents, Dean and Kristen, started Always Be Smiling in honor of their son, Bennett, who was always happy and smiling, no matter the health that he was in. And he just died recently this year at 16 and a half years old. And they help others who have kidney issues like him. And that goes on. Oh, okay. I got a secret message here. We'll have to adjust that.
Passing notes?
We are passing notes.
And they're not like the sweetie notes that you pass all the time. Like you forgot to give me one. Do you know snow? Back to Always Be Smiling. They're a 501c3. As Smoking Jim doesn't understand, they're actually a nonprofit. They're a nonprofit. You can write off your deductions from as little as $1 to any amount that you can afford to donate. So please check that out. And they're a great group and doing great things in this area. If you can like their page, we're trying to boost it up towards 700 likes. So that would be our mission. And thank you for your help. We appreciate that. All right, I got to try to go through this. All right, another big test for A2. We'll see what he gets here. You know what? I think he did it. There's Kathleen, fan of our show. Believe it or not, she still likes Smoking Jim Frazier. And she's at Friendship Village, and it's on Boyce Road there. Smoking Jim doesn't know where it's at, but that's called Upper St. Clair. About 10 minutes down the road here, 15 at most. And she said a lot of other people watch the show, and we don't know what's going on there on TV. Try to ignore that, folks, if it's something that's not supposed to be there. It looked like A1 and...
Our new promo.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's great that that's up there, so we'll see what's happening. But check Kathleen out. She has a donor, and she's not sick enough to need the transplant yet. It could be early next year, and we'll find out who the donor is. If they contacted her because of my show, I'm very proud and honored. If they contacted her anyhow, I'm proud and honored because my son's a living donor, and it helps you to live up to 30 years after your transplant. So we want those living donors. All right, another local group here, right in Bethel Park on Broughton Road. All right, I'm trying to see. Okay, we got it up there. It's called Senior Helpers of Southwest Pittsburgh, and they also help senior veterans. I wanted to bring this up, that they help senior veterans, and they can provide a variety of quality in-home services from companion care to personal care that support aging in place. They're 412-851-3223. It's 100 Broughton Road. It's like that group of new shops that are there. You can see them right there. They were all remodeled during COVID, and they have businesses back in there. So you know right where it is, right off of Route 88, Caddy Corner to Walgreens. So check them out. They're a great place there, and just give them a call. All right, let me flip this over. We got too many papers here, trying to help. All right, another 501c3, Bethel Park Community Foundation has money and grants for you from $100 to $5,000 for your group or organization doing great things in Bethel Park. Go to bpcf.org. Get an application. I'm a trustee on the board only till the end of the year. My term limit's up, so I have to be off for at least a year, but I'll still promote Bethel Park Community Foundation, and you can donate money. We have the Bethel Bounty coming up, and that's November 7th. That's at the Crown Plaza. Smokin' Jim, it only costs $50, and you can eat from 25 different places there. They have great food. It'd be right up your alley. If somehow you win a bet, then maybe you could come in. 50 bucks. No Pirates to bet, and if you've been betting against the Steelers, you got problems now. So I understand how you're a streaky type gambler. If they're losing, keep betting. If they're winning, keep betting. And famous Bob Prince used to call that the hidden vigorish. The more they win, the closer they are to losing. The more they lose, the closer they are to winning. And Smokin' Jim, our gambling degenerate, is a perfect example. Do not gamble. Sorry for that little sideline, but I couldn't help myself. All right. A1 gave me this great sheet. I want you for BPTV. Look at that. He has me looking like Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al wants you for BPTV. 412-831-3304. You can be like Nick, on air, behind scenes, great camera work, great graphics, great posters for Smokin' Jim. You name it, he can do it. And he graduated Waynesburg this year.
Not the Art Institute.
Yes, we're proud of him because it was Waynesburg. You can be a volunteer. You could be a volunteer like Nick, or how about A2 on the camera? Look at this shot. A2 just graduated from the technical school. And
Where?
we got Ryan back. We'll let Nick explain that to you like he's done each week. And I figured since Chip couldn't make it, he's able to just whisper in your ear or pass a note and write it so then you can study it for next week, not to ask the same question.
Pittsburgh Technical College.
Thanks,
Is it
Nick.
on GPS?
Yeah. Here, let me explain that, Smokin' Jim. Just type it in if you can spell it.
I never heard of it.
Hold it. We want to check the last month of tapes to hear how many times he's actually heard it. We caught him. Sorry, folks. But we want you for BPTV. You can have fun like this. Look at A1 doing the overall things here. And not only is Ryan a good editor, he's trying to run the whole show tonight because next week A1 is on vacation.
What?
Smokin' Jim, I know it's rare because you have a vacation.
Paid vacation?
You have, yeah, because
What?
Smokin' Jim, let me explain. Nick runs the studio. He owns it.
You remember that?
Where's he going, to Porch View?
No. He's going out of state. That's how good he is. And unlike you, Smokin' Jim, who doesn't work and is always on vacation, you can't even understand the logic between a vacation.
I get up at noon.
You go to bed at
You know
5.
what? You know what? I just thought of something. You remember when I used to direct the show, how you were like, oh, what? Nick's taking Anthony's job. Anthony's gone. Remember that?
Yeah,
All right, to get serious, just call 412-831-3304, and you can do this. Now we're going to test A2. All right, he's ready for it, folks. We'll see what he can do here. Skeet Service Station, sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski, 6103. That's a great pick. Look at that. It popped up right now. Oh, I'm shaking a little. I've never been this old before, so just call 724-348-4715, Red, White, and Blue Station, Finleyville, about 6 miles away from our studio. They have a smorgasbord with all kind of things that Smokin' Jim shouldn't eat. And he says he eats it, but I have no witnesses. And so we'll find out. But anything that runs on gas, they work on and fix. You name it, lawnmowers, tractors, cars, tractor trailers, boats, weed whackers, anything runs on gas, even electronic things, they fix those too. So it's a double-edged threat there that they can fix almost anything. Check them out. It's 6103 Library Road. That's Route 88 for all of you like Smoking Jim that don't know Route 88. All right, we got technical difficulties supposedly, and we're going to go to a break right now.
Here's Lemieux. His center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh, my heavens. What a goal. What a move. Lemieux.
Hi, Bethel Park. Uncle Al speaking. I'm asking you to come help us behind the scenes at BP TV. We're looking for some proud Bethel Park residents to help us make the shows that you want to watch. For more information, contact Station Director Dave Cable, and we will see you behind the cameras at BP TV.
Hello, Bethel Park Gamers. This is Anthony Feltry from Bethel Park Gaming. I'd like to say thank you all for watching Bethel Park Gaming the series. I appreciate all again for watching it on BPTV's Comcast 7 and Verizon 32. And I do appreciate it for watching it on Bethel Park Gaming's YouTube page along with Bethel Park Gaming's Facebook page. Now I'm pretty sure you're seeing a lot of my contestants to be part of Bethel Park Gaming. For instance, Ethan, Sylvester,
That completely slipped my mind.
Colin,
Jizz, we want some pancakes. Looks like a costume party. I'll be back.
I'll be back with
And he
some
actually
more
makes the noises too.
and Nick.
Oh, you got
Yes!
I appreciate them for joining me for Bethel Park Gaming, but now you can actually join me right here in the BPTV studios by contacting me and selecting your favorite games that you want to play together. So I appreciate all you for watching Bethel Park Gaming, and make sure you keep gaming, Bethel Park.
Here's Lemieux. His center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh, my heavens. What a goal. What a move. Lemieux.
Well, we got to go to What's on Your Mind, and that's sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. We talked about that before we went to commercial. Our technical difficulties are this. We're not being broadcast on TV tonight, so when this show is recorded and then posted up, I'll make that statement that you do not see us on Comcast 7 or Verizon 32. But we're going to carry on with our routine. Like, what's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and if you want the green,
It's coming at you.
you got to see Levine. But I tell you what, man, I got to salute our captain, A1 Anthony, never a hair out of place, doing his things, running the ones and twos in the back room. I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine.
What?
Nobody gets swagged out like my man, Tony. And I tell you
Oh,
what.
the disclaimer. Disclaimer. Last week I was brokenhearted. We got Tony was here in a nice looking t-shirt, shoes, and the pants.
He was washing his car with that t-shirt today.
And Smoking Jim is one of the nicest guys in media, was so disrespectful. I had to give him a hug at the end of the show that he did great. Because he said, I thought I looked good when I left the house.
You ever see that one commercial where the collars droop and the guy's on a date and the collars, you ever have a bad t-shirt day and the collar droops? That's what it looked like, didn't it, Al?
No.
But he wasn't going on a date. He was working at BPTV.
Smoking Jim, it's hard to explain this to him because he can't answer a question like how he hated Tony last week. And now he's back in love.
He's swagged out.
He's back in love because he's all about the yellow swag.
Well, it's all about love.
Tony gets the women, and El Levine, you're going to get them too. They see all that chest here, brother. You want my afro pick? And I tell you what, we got the VIP of BPTV, my main man, Nick. But I tell you
Hold
what.
it. What's actually on your mind?
What's on my mind, El Levine?
And that was a
talking
heck of a
machine.
disclaimer because he was nowhere focused on anything.
This is the biggest week in the University of Pitt history since 1975 when Pitt played Penn State at Three River Stadium and they moved Tony
remember
Dorsett,
that.
the fullback, en route to winning the Heisman Trophy. We got Clemson this week. I couldn't be more proud of the quarterback for Pitt, Pickett. I've never seen a better quarterback inside the pocket. His feet is so good inside the pocket. And as you know, El Levine, the talking machine, and I'm going to let Nick know, and Anthony, and my main man Ryan, that cost me a lot of prayers lately. I'm so happy to see Ryan back this week. El Levine, the talking machine, and I'm going to tell Tony, you know, El Levine, the talking machine, that I get a Heisman vote. It won't be going to Pickett.
No, this is the.
It won't be going to Pickett.
Here's what I don't understand. How do you qualify for a Heisman vote when you're not even at the newspaper anymore?
Well, El Levine, the
Tell me
talking
this
machine,
exception.
I'm not going to put all my business out, but once you get the
I
vote,
only asked one question.
Once you get the vote, you don't lose the vote. But El Levine, the
That
talking
explains
machine,
if you're not working for the New Pittsburgh Courier, you can keep voting forever you want, and then by the rules, they won't count your vote.
Well, put it this way: Pickett ain't getting my vote.
We knew
And-
that.
And I'm pulling for Clemson because I like the coach for Clemson. But I tell you what, I couldn't be more proud of a guy that spent 6 years in college. Is that a new record, El Levine, the
No.
talking machine? 5 years he was playing below, production level.
Yeah.
But this year it's lights out. Sometimes you just need that extra 6 years to play 4.
Smoking Jim, let me explain. If you're not paying for it, it doesn't matter. When you're paying for it and you pay later like you did,
Yeah.
you want to get out in 4.
Yeah.
And like Nick, who you didn't acknowledge is that he graduated from Waynesburg with a
Where?
degree. Waynesburg University.
No, okay. Didn't you repeat a few classes for a few years? Was that or?
Flew what?
Didn't
No,
you
he didn't
repeat a
even
few
take
classes
them.
for a
They
few
changed
years,
them.
or-
Well, it took me 14 years.
You couldn't even pass underwater basketball.
It took me 14. I got a general studies degree in 4 years, but I went back for a business degree, and it took me 14 years because I had to retake some of them D's and pull them up.
So Pickett doesn't have the record.
To get
Hold it.
14.
Hold it.
To get that 2-0. I had to get the 2-0 to graduate El Levine to talk about.
I got to give a disclaimer because my disclaimers are all that this is Smoking Jim's opinion. We have no verification he went to Cal U, and it was Cal State back then, so there's a technicality. He could say he didn't go to Cal U, but he went to Cal State, and we don't know how many degrees or degree he got. He told me it was general, and then he went to business. He never told me until tonight. 14 years.
14 years to get a business degree. But hey, El Levine, the talking machine, I didn't quit.
Being a stubborn guy like I am, I told Smoking Jim years ago, and he was shocked because, he's easily shocked. I said, "You're a stubborn man." He goes, "Machine, why would you say that?"
That broke my heart.
I know. It was a compliment, meaning he has perseverance. You can look that up. Whoop. Dictionary. One more time. What's his phone doing? We'll bring the dictionary up.
Let me help you with that. Here, what was your phone?
Here, A2.
No, for
See
real,
if
I'll help you.
A2. Can
Serious.
you pull in on the dictionary? 1909. Lois Brenner gave us this dictionary, and I looked up perseverance. You're going to have
It's
to
in there.
Google it.
Wow.
It wasn't in there.
It wasn't in there?
No.
Wow.
But that's what we're talking about. Look at that dictionary, 1909. Thank you, Lois Brenner. We appreciate it. I do get to pull it out often because Smoking Jim, I don't know, I wouldn't say he's illiterate, but whatever he studied for 14 years, it didn't take.
And can I say one thing, Al?
Sure.
Talking machine.
Sure, just one.
I need a double salute. My cousin Eddie White retired from the military, 28 years as a colonel.
Wow.
And he retired. And so I got to give a double salute to A1 and my cousin Colonel Eddie White. Everybody in the family went to the retirement but me. Ella, I just couldn't pull away. Maybe if I had vacation time like A1, I could have made it down there. But congratulations to I was there in spirit.
Hold it, but you know Nick.
They said they was bringing in generals and colonels and all these big shots.
You know Nick, the VIP.
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask him to go? I just think you're avoiding it because you had some sweetie to go visit.
Yeah.
And that's quite an honor, even though you're non-military, non-government, and everything else.
28 years.
They don't even know your legal name.
When he went
Uncle
to
Sam.
he went to the University of Georgia.
Yeah.
And he joined the ROTC there.
Right.
And then he went into a commission officer and just kept going up. But I don't know what he actually did in the military because he was chemical engineer major at Georgia. So I don't know if he ever seen any combat, but I guess that's good. I don't know, maybe they put chemicals into the nuclear bombs. I don't know what he did, but he's a real intelligent guy, man.
Smoking Jim, I don't know much about nuclear bombs.
His daughter got married this summer. I didn't go to that either.
Well, it's glad that you could share that you have a family there. Maybe someday we can find out if you were married and have kids.
But he went to high school in Johnstown at a high school called Forest Hills. And I tell you what, they set almost all the records, but there was only black family in the school. So I don't know if that counts, Ellaby. He was the starting point guard. Great hurdler, too, but...
Smoking Jim, in my segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about Chip, but I think you're part of the NFL culture, even though some would say you're a black man.
Chip gets more done on one leg than anybody I know.
I know. Well, he's working tonight, but thanks for that point. We'll discuss about your comment and others with the NFL when I'll give you a little tease. We'll talk about what's on my mind. We're halfway through the show, folks, and no offense, but that was like, can I say this on air? It was like a black hole. All the information went in, nothing came out. Hopefully you got to see some of this.
Go Clemson.
Okay. I needed some focus, and I just want to say...
Wait, you're rooting for Clemson?
Yes.
He said that. He's bet heavy on him.
I like their coach.
Oh, I missed that. Not a fan.
I like their coach.
Okay.
No, well, he has to be negative about Pittsburgh people.
I'm not surprised. I just missed when he said that.
Well, how could you not get mesmerized when he threw out his great cousin that was a colonel? And 28 years, God bless him.
That's kind of rough.
God bless America for that. Thank you for his service. Make sure you tell him the machine said thank you.
I've never seen more of a patriotic.
Not now. Not now. All right. Thank you, Smoking Jim. Nick Callis, what's on your mind?
Well, I want to apologize to the nice people of Pittsburgh Sportsline because I know that some people commented to Al that I jinxed the Steelers season, which I will accept because when you hang banners and wear attire and over-exaggerate success,
I accept your apology.
So I will apologize to everybody, but they're back. Honey's coming back. So
Hold it.
The curse of the
Hold
VIP
it. What's
is,
your thought on the Steelers now? Super Bowl?
No.
Okay, we
To
have
be
an
honest with
We have an honest co-host on our show. This is another first.
Maybe I'll rub off on you since I'm on this side this week.
No, no chance. All right, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Anything else?
Yeah, no, I still think the Steelers have problems, and I was going to say that too. They're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't see it.
Because they have a 39-year-old quarterback who's done?
They're just, I mean, they're not strong enough on offense.
No, but that's what people believe. He's done.
I don't know. I mean, the performances against the Broncos and the Seahawks, Seahawks wasn't great. The Broncos were pretty good. But those two teams aren't that strong. Russell Wilson wasn't a quarterback for the Seahawks, so
very good observation.
That's what I mean, it's not a great test for the Steelers, those two teams, because they're weaker teams heading into this portion of the season. So I'm still on the Dwayne train. Put Haskins in there. Let him and Matt Canada kind of mesh and see. what reality those two
I
can
have an
create together.
announcement to make. We now have a seat for a co-host open.
What's wrong with Haskins? You ain't even get a shot.
I just wanted to share with everybody. I believe in the opinions we all have because we bleed black and gold, but we're not the brightest on our opinions. So when we're bringing opinions out,
Just give him a shot.
I need a new co-host. We have job openings. If you can talk and think sports, not like Smoking Jim, but a little less, we can have a new co-host after that last statement.
He says all that. He says that. I give one out there opinion, and now it's over. I'm not backing down. Give him a chance.
Let me explain this. When you have a family, you don't have favorite children, but you have to hold them to, like Coach Tomlin, who you all love. The standard is the standard, and your standard is higher than his standard. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah,
and I knew you being a true graduate in 4 years against another guy that took 14 years to get a degree that he didn't even study for until later. It's a struggle saying all that, folks, but we're going to go to what's on my mind. Wow, I forgot about all of that. But when Smoking Jim brings a race card up, I don't mean to, pick on him or anything, but Chip had told me he was going to bring up about John Gruden and his emails, and he was guilty as could be. But then he found it strange that the emails were sent to Daniel Snyder, the billionaire owner of the football team in Washington. Mm-hmm. So they destroyed all those emails. And like what people are asking, what's the culture of the NFL? And it seems to be racist. That's why they even went for the emails from John Gruden after, how many millions of emails or whatever, 650,000 emails. Now, Smoking Jim knows how to send an email. He doesn't know how to open it. But if you're sending emails to people with similar thoughts, then there could be other people that are having problems. And the NFL is known for hiding certain things, like how can you cheat and tape other teams, and then they destroy those tapes. And then you get fined and lose a first-round draft pick, and you're just caught a couple years ago filming the losingest team in the NFL that year, Cincinnati, and you're taping them and got caught. So the NFL has a history with Goodell, whoever you want to charge, he's in charge. And you have 32 owners that I think it's called a good old boys club, and that's not a good history. And I know they're the biggest, greatest sports around because Smoking Jim tells us that, whether the ratings are good or bad. But there are some things in society that have changed, but they haven't changed. And that's what Chip wanted to bring up, and I decided to bring it up for him. But what's truly on my mind, I'm watching a football game, Miami and the Jaguars. And I'm watching this game. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. Miami looked pretty good. And then it comes down to a 54-yard field goal to tie the game by this guy named Wright, who had been cut from the Rams, and now he's working, with the Jaguars. And then you can't even talk about Urban Meyer because that's, again, the culture of the NFL. And in my humble opinion, he should have been fired. And I'll leave it at that for you to argue about, but that's my opinion. He should have been fired. So this 54-yard field goal is kicked by this thin 5'10" guy, and he kicks it. The announcer thought it was going to miss the goalpost. It's the right goalpost that comes like this, and it sneaks in right underneath 54 yards, ties the game up. Now they go into overtime. Stuff happened. Now they want to kick a 53-yard. I won't give you all the dramatics that they got to that since we've eaten up a lot of show. But he kicks a 53-yard field goal to take all the bad negativity plus about Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer and how Tebow was on the team for no reason and all that. So Smoking Jim can talk about haters of Tebow and, whatever. But now the Jaguars win their first game. That's what's on my mind. You talk about something exciting that you didn't expect. And 2 50-plus field goals, tie and win a game. And we'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Steelers show blitz. He throws the pass up. It's going to be picked up. James Harrison has it. He's running up the sideline. 25-30.
Hi, I'm Kathy Moscato, Bethel Park Assistant Recreation Director, and I'm excited to tell you that No Cook Tuesdays will be returning to the Community Center Playground parking lot October 5th, running from 4 to 7 p.m. through November 23rd. No Cook Tuesdays will bring you a variety of food vendors every Tuesday, so you can come and pick up your dinner and not have to cook. Looking forward to seeing you here on Tuesdays, 4 to 7 p.m.
And you're sitting on your butt, watching TV, and you're surfing for something good. Just grab your remote and follow me to Bethel Park TV. BPTV. BPTV. It's at Comcast 7, Verizon 32, and even on YouTube. Made by Bethel Park residents, it's a little slice of heaven. Heaven, 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 heaven. Be sure to visit BPTV. BPTV. Be sure to visit BPTV. Bethel Park TV.
Steelers show blitz. He throws the pass up. It's going to be picked up. James Harrison has it. He's running up the sideline.
25-30. Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yeah.
Again, I feel somewhat vindicated.
Oh, I got to hear this.
Everybody knows on draft day a few years ago, I thought that one of the biggest mistakes Steelers could make was to draft the finesse guy, Devin Bush. If you put 21 on his back, you'd think he was Deion Sanders. But on your radio station this week, they called him the Matador, Devin Bush, because he didn't show up for any tackles. Listen. The reason I said that Al Levine, the talking machine, that was a bad pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going back, and I said it on draft day. Number one, I never would have gave up a first-round draft choice. That was a bad move. Number two, the guy was supposed to replace Shazier and cover tight ends. Well, he only had one tackle in his whole career at Michigan. He's 5'11". He can't cover tight ends. He's proven that over and over again. They're taking him out on pass downs. Al Levine, the talking machine, we're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We're used to tough guys.
Yeah.
I know this is going back a ways for you, VIP, but there used to be a guy named Bob Baker for the Pittsburgh Steelers that hit Y.A. Tittle so hard that his helmet came off and blood all over the place.
He's told a story like this before, so you might have been exposed to it.
So you might have been exposed to that. We had guy like Jack Lambert that used to beat up on quarterbacks so much that they used to cry and used to tell them, why don't they just put a dress on? Mean Joe Green was so vicious. You know what I mean? We had a guy named Kendro Bell that used to twist your bottle cap back with violent hits. Dennis Dirt Winston. One time he hit Ed Manunero from the Minnesota Vikings so hard the next day he retired and started making movies. That's the type of thing. No matter how good or how talented, we always have physical players. We had a guy named James Harrison that Al Levine, the talking machine, said he's not a mentor, he's a tormentor.
You remembered that.
He used to hit so much and so violently that the NFL kept tweaking rules. They would fine him even though it was a legal hit. They said it was too violent. Even his mama got in on it because he hit his former college roommate, Josh Cribbs, knocked him out of the game with such a violent hit. His mama said, "You didn't have to hit Josh like that," or it might have been his grandmama. But
maybe it was his girlfriend.
And maybe. But we had a guy.
Oh, sorry, that slipped out. Rooney's never protected him.
We had a guy on the team named Greg Lloyd that was so mean. He told Dan Marino before the game, "I'm gonna knock you into the middle of next week," and did it. And I tell you what, El Levine, the talking machine. Now we got Devin Bush on the team. I told you before, we never should have traded for Mika Fitzpatrick. We could have had Justin Hubert if we don't trade for Mika Fitzpatrick. Everybody says that Big Ben is done. Everybody wants Aaron Rodgers, who's only a year younger than Big Ben. But we could have had the future. Justin Hubert. Now we go after Mika Fitzpatrick. They're not going to pay this guy all that money for missing tackles. Devin Bush, he never seen a tackle he wanted to make. They put a backup running back in the second half. He was running through holes you could drive a truck through.
Smoking
El
Jim.
Levine, the talking machine.
We got to cut down the. I've been asking you each week when you go off on a rant. What's your point to this?
The point is, El Levine, the talking machine, we gave up so much.
And we got nothing.
To replace Ryan Shazier. I gave the Steelers, last time I was with the Steelers was in 2018. Did I not guarantee? I said, I got a guy who's better than Shazier that was available when the Pittsburgh Steelers picked. They backstabbed me by picking Terrell Edmonds, who's been a bust ever since. And the guy that I told them was Darius Leonard. They never heard of him. He not only made the Pro Bowl every year, but his rookie year, he was #1 in the league in tackles, and the second place guy was 30 tackles behind. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame, and Terrell Edmonds is on his way to the Hall of Shame. And I told you before, El Levine, the talking machine, y'all got on me. I said Mike McCarthy should be the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look what he's doing in Dallas. They look like a Super Bowl team. How will we look with McCarthy here?
Smoking Jim, I got to.
Y'all picked on me last year.
I got to rebut a couple things.
Apologize. That means apologizing for what you getting on me?
Rebut a couple of these things and answer some of it. First of all, your points are all well taken.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just share that Dan Rooney, when he turned the team over to Art Rooney, it hasn't been the same.
Yes, sir.
And I'll just share that thought. That's my personal opinion. And I back it up with facts like Smokin' Jim and others. But one thing I got to give Smokin' Jim the highest credit and honor from Pittsburgh Sportsline that I can give. I don't know if you heard of a guy, T.J. Watt. He was here 1 month, and Smokin' Jim said he'll be a Hall of Fame linebacker, the greatest linebacker in Pittsburgh Steeler history. You can look at the tapes. Smokin' Jim said that. Chip and I go, let's see what time. I said, let me see after 5 years, 6 years. Well, I got to say after time that I've seen a lot of people hit the bank where they get rich and they make money beyond what they can spend in their lifetime. And T.J. Watt did that, and he's playing at a better, higher level than when he should have won Defensive Player of the Year, and they gave it to Aaron Donald. So T.J. Watt was just a man among boys, and what he did at the end of that game. Just think, you want to talk about how great the running was, how great the passing was. Say you don't have T.J. Watt on the team. I rest my case right there. And, that's just part of it. And you got to admit the change from Dan Rooney is really affecting us. And then how do you not plan for a successor? And they did it in Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. And for all of you that think Aaron Rodgers will come here and maybe they'll even adjust his salary, I don't know what you're smoking or drinking or anything like that. Why would he come here when our offensive line, as they said kindly on TV, is still learning and they're young? Why would you have a guy that's a year younger than Big Ben and bring him here even though he was MVP last year? Mm-hmm. And why would he take a chance on getting hurt on a snap? And not even a run, on a snap, because how many times, like I watched the line, How many times do you see the other colored jersey, because you know what black and gold is, and they're in the backfield? And that's why I give Najee all the credit in the world for what he did and a couple passes he made. You could see he's a superstar. And we don't have the development of our team to the level we need to be. And it's great when we win a couple games that we should have won, because that's against what the Steelers normally do. And that's my serious thoughts on this. Smoking Jim, Nick can have fun of it. I like having fun, but you got to talk reality and what they're doing. Nick started to come around to it where he said they're not going to go to the Super Bowl, but it's based on the facts, and we all have an eye on the team. Don't you watch the game? And you can see Big Ben is 39 years old. When they do interviews and the announcers go, they ask Big Ben how he's doing, and he goes, I'm old. Now, who says that when they're feeling great? Look at the Aaron Rodgers. What did he do in Chicago? He scores on a running play at his advanced age like he was a 25-year-old kid, and he goes, I own you, back at the Chicago fans. I've always effing owned you, and I own you now. And look, they even picked that up on film, so you could see it. These are the differences between where we're at as a Steelers team and what our future is. And that's what I question. Go ahead, Smoking.
And I want to thank you and everybody else around the world. I actually said on draft day that T.J. Watt would be the best linebacker in Steeler history. But all I can say when it comes to T.J. Watt, Al Levine, the talking machine, if you're white, you're all right with me.
It says that in your almanac, too.
Now, if they get rid of his brother, I'd be happy.
Well, we're not going to go to a commercial anymore since we already been teasing about Steelers like I did and others. And look at Smoking Jim's latest comment.
If you're white, you're all right.
Let me explain the culture. The culture of the NFL is being reproduced, hard to believe and say, from Smoking Jim Frazier.
Yeah.
And I just question who he is, because this happens. Like, I watched the whole Steeler game, and if you notice, when you're passing 73% of the time and running 27% of the time, Big Ben is done, can't complete a pass, can't throw. Now you changed almost 50-50. All of a sudden he's completing long passes, short passes, and we have a running game. Now, do you have to be a genius to sit in the seat watching TV to know that? Like, I worry about all the coaches and what they actually were thinking the start of the season. You had a guy come back from 3 tendon fixing surgery who's 38 years old and have him throwing 50 sometimes a year. He averaged 46 passes per game last year.
Wow.
And you're wondering why he was tired at the end? And then you wonder now about his arm. How did he do well the last 2 games? Think about balance. What do you guys think?
I agree that he's old. And
well, compared to you, he's 17 years older.
yeah, I still think
Tell us.
I'm trying.
I just got that.
I don't know.
Well, you're 22, he's 39. They're 17 years old. That's like having a second class of schoolmates. That's like a whole generation you missed of high school.
Is it that funny?
Yeah, because I didn't catch that.
It's not meant at you.
I know.
It's an observation.
I was just like,
He's so knowledgeable. I don't
something?
think of him being that young.
I was just like, that's
a fact.
Because you got, okay, yeah.
He could be your dad.
He could. Be a lot of people.
Depends on the neighborhood.
I think. That was bad.
Well, I'm not lying.
Ben Roethlisberger's too old, and they played weak teams. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Now that we're done being distracted.
It's too late. He's gone.
They played weak teams. That's why Ben did pretty well. It might have been a different story with the Seahawks if Russell Wilson was still healthy. The Broncos had a good record, but didn't play strong teams to start the season.
Hold it. Make it clarified. Denver won 3 games against 0-9 teams.
They're not good. Not
0-9 at the
right.
time.
Oh,
How do you get worse after 3 games? I'm just bringing up facts. Your opinions, they matter, but not on 0-9. Just to clarify, you're on the right track. You got distracted.
And now I'm trying to get back.
We'll try to bring you back. We got
The
9
teams-
minutes to try to get this.
The teams were weak.
We agree.
But when the teams get better, Ben's still going to struggle. And despite what Al thinks, give Haskins a shot at some point. If the Steelers get out of contention, give him a shot.
You know how long it'll last?
30 seconds?
No. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. 1 quarter if we have a couple, series. 1 quarter. If we have 2 series with them, because the first half of they saw him play in preseason was terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. 1 quarter would tell you whether he's a Baker Mayfield who's not the best or worse.
They had to have seen something in him, though, to cut Dobbs from the team.
Okay, let me go back to my original quote. Dan Rooney passed the team over to Art Rooney III, and we haven't been the same in 10 years.
True. That's true.
So it's whatever you see and what they do. I got to go by what they do. We all see the same thing on TV. So why are they doing it? Obviously, it got to be a philosophy that they're following their leader. And the leader of the team is the owner.
Or maybe he's a diamond in the rough and he's going to break out at some point and be the future of the Steelers.
Who?
Haskins.
You have a very immature person, like you're young, but you're not immature. You have a guy that's proven he's immature.
Mm-hmm. We can't grow. He can grow.
Maybe you can, but you're putting faith in what you've seen over numerous repetitions with 2 different teams.
Well, what's the answer then? If Ben is
here's
old,
how simple the answer is.
Who's the next quarterback?
Get somebody else.
Who's the next quarterback? Then?
Somebody else that we don't know.
So we're going to waste a draft pick on a quarterback? I mean, we should have done it before.
We may trade for somebody that they feel sorry for us, and they don't ask for a couple first-round picks. And we're not getting, Watson or anything like that. But that's the problem we have now, because you have some foresight and intelligence. You know we should have been prepared. There's an age-old saying that when you don't get a quarterback to replace your current quarterback, when he gets old, it's too late.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
if knowing that,
if the Steelers
what do we have to replace him?
The Steelers aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year, and they're going to struggle against teams that are better. My point is, why not try? Why not give it a shot? Like, put Rudolph in there for a few games. Put Haskins in there for a few games. Just see. Because you can't know for certain if you don't see them
here's what we've
games
heard.
against tough opponents. Because Ben's not going to lead us to another championship. It's likely that's not going to happen.
Well, look at the gamble they took. Smoking Jim, again, says outrageous things. He said he would have never signed Big Ben.
Why?
At his age, he said, don't re-sign Big Ben.
I was like, draft him initially. No, okay,
re-sign.
Okay.
Clarify that. Sometimes young you don't hear, but I understand that.
You just said sign. That's why I was like,
re-sign, I said. It might have been the mask. I can spell it R-E and then put sign on it. So he told us that, and we did not. Now, what did we do? We bring Ben back, and they wear him down. We're 11-0, then lose 5 out of 6. Now, if you're in management, and you're in management, wouldn't you say what happened? And then you got Pouncey crying on the bench with Big Ben. He's leaving. The Castro should have been gone because he was injured severely and couldn't come back from that. So you know you're losing 2 Hall of Fame linemen. What do you have to replace them with?
Good point.
These are all things that we know about. So it's just funny to me. I'm a bit sarcastic, so I can appreciate your input, right or wrong. And it seems humorous to me that we're talking about the same thing. We have an older quarterback who admits he's old now, and we don't have a replacement. That's the bottom line. You can put Haskins in for a half, a quarter, a whole game, and then you're going to put Baker Mayfield in after that and put him in for a game or a half, and you're going to put Haskins back in. So I say go by the Nick theme here. Let them play. Because what's it matter with Big Ben? He's going to the Hall of Fame. Sit him down. Say that hip that you have the hip pad on, which looks gross, sticking out of his hip. Put him on the bench and let his hip heal.
This is a question for Nick.
Okay.
And Tony. Who would you rather have right now, Mika Fitzpatrick or Justin Hubert? Decisions that the Steelers make.
Which one's Hubert? I'm sorry.
San Diego Charger quarterback.
That's Herbert.
Would I call him Hubert? That's the same thing. You mean to tell me you know the difference between Herbert and Hubert?
He just told you.
Well, I'll call him what you call him, Herbert.
Because I was like, did he mean
no,
Justin
everybody
Herbert?
else
But I didn't want
does.
to correct you because I was like, is there another guy named Justin Hubert that
In
I
the
just
black
haven't heard of?
neighborhood, we call Herbert's Huberts.
Well,
but you.
Here, I got to do a disclaimer.
Isn't he a great quarterback?
Nick, when Smoking Jim first was on the show, he would say certain words because he misspoke them. My dad, may rest in peace, he would misspeak different words. But we understood him, being my three sisters and I and all of you that know my dad. He was just a great, nice guy. So Smoking Jim, but he would come on and misspeak, and we'd correct him, and he'd go, "What's that? Eubonics?" He would say that for years. You've missed it, but he put that on the show, and I just,
No, but who would I rather have? That's the question, right?
Glad we got to that.
I'd have Ben. You know why?
No, I'm that's not the question.
Oh, would I have Fitzpatrick or
Fitzpatrick
or
Herbert, who looks like had the NFL Rookie of the Year last year, and he looks like he's going to be the next Dan Marino.
Well, thank you for swaying.
Yeah, I'm not trying.
The information for me.
I didn't think it would take that long of a thought. I mean,
he's young.
Mika missed 4 tackles. Mika missed 4 tackles.
But what did
this
he
past
do when we
week.
first got him? That's what I'm saying. What did he do when we first got him? And we weren't drafting.
He did better than he did in Miami, which got him sent out of Miami.
I don't know how well Herbert would do with the Steelers' current offensive line. I don't, because guess what? The Chargers still haven't made playoffs with him.
Okay, well,
right, and guess what,
Nick? That's a great point.
Hey,
the Steelers.
I guess I shouldn't have asked him that question. We're talking about a franchise quarterback.
Well, guess what? I don't know how long he's staying in San Diego if they can't get their whole team together. At least Minka had a couple good years, one of which he was a part of a solid defense that allowed the Steelers to go 11-0.
Well, I believe San Diego got a black coach, so it may be a good whatever they are. They may be going. How's that coach? How's that coach doing? How's that coach doing in Miami? Everybody liked. He looked like he's about to get fired.
Hold it, Smoking Jim is a counterpoint.
How many NFL gonna put brothers out of work?
Hold it, as a counterpoint.
How many brothers gonna be out of work in the NFL?
Well, here's what gets me with where you're coming from in your black outfit. What about Jacksonville?
They got a black coach?
No, what about their coach?
He acting black in the bar, ain't he?
Oh. Disclaimer.
I like that coach.
These are his opinions.
I like that coach.
These are not the beliefs of us other on the staff here or the co-host.
Not at all.
He's not even close to reality. And we're almost out of time, so Tony from Chick-fil-A, now you know he graduated with a business degree at Cal State, which is Cal U, 14 years. Thank you for putting up with us tonight, guys. Sorry we weren't on TV. To apologize again. Next week we'll get the technical difficulties straightened out at BPTV. Keep watching us. Thanks to everybody on Facebook for liking us and watching. And please stay Joey strong.